Hey guys, this is my daughter Ebony,
Hi.
and she just wants to say hi because we're going to talk about her birth story. So, goodbye.
I
So well, babe. Probably going to get interrupted by my son who's standing here, thinking that standing here is going to not distract me out. Sorry about that, guys. He's 16. He's just in his own world. Anyway, Ebony's labor and delivery story is scary, because that is one of my most fears deliveries. I am actually terrified that the same thing will happen this time, but I will end up having baby at home and not be prepared for baby at home. But um, I have educated myself since then on delivering at home, emergency births, and having an emergency birth kit at home. And I'll do a video on what's in my emergency birth kit. And the reason why is because of Ebony. My pregnancy with Ebony, my third trimester with Ebony was miserable. I had really bad sciatica pain. I could barely walk. I had to use a cane. I was working at the time as a bus driver, and I literally, once I got on the bus, I didn't want to get off. And if I had to go to the bathroom, it sucked. Um, it really did. I hated getting off the bus to go into school or anywhere to use the bathroom because it really, was extremely painful. I had to use a cane, and I was in my 20s, and here I am using a cane to walk. And, it's because I was pregnant. My legs would give way, and I would just fall to the ground. So I had quite a long trip with this. I was in pain just about every day with her, and I did take Tylenol. Um, Not every day, but I took a lot of Tylenol. Got a lot of massages. It just, nothing seemed to work. So anyway, when I was 36 weeks, I think I need to go back to 34 weeks. When I hit 34 weeks, I started having contractions. I went to the hospital because with all the pain I had been in, I figured this is it. I'm going into labor early. The baby is coming. 34 weeks, they sent me home. They said, nope, nothing. You're not dilating. This has happened a couple of times during my 34 weeks. They were extremely painful contractions. It got better during the 35th week, and at the end of my 36th week, it got really bad again. So when I was 36 weeks and 6 days, I was having extreme pain. I had did everything the doctors had told me to do, take Tylenol, take a warm bath, try to relax. You got a long ways to go. 36 weeks, 6 days, I couldn't take it any longer. I felt like this baby is coming out. Went to the hospital. They kept me for about an hour and monitored me. I didn't dilate. My contractions were sporadic. They weren't regular. They were extremely painful, but they weren't regular. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter just came in and she wanted to talk to me about something. Um, anyway, they sent me home. I could barely walk. I was in so much pain. I wasn't dilating, so they sent me home. My labor was irregular. I was in so much pain. I could barely walk. It was horrible. My husband took me home. Um, I got in the bathtub. I took 2 Tylenol, had made a cup of warm chamomile tea, tried to relax. I was in so much pain. My mother, who was living with us at the time, told my husband to either take me back to the hospital, or she was calling 911 because I wasn't going to give birth to this baby in his house. And I told him, I said, yeah, I want to go back to the hospital because this is crazy. The Tylenol ain't helping. I need something. They got to give me something. And I was in so much pain. I mean, it was painful getting out the house, getting in the car. Got back to the hospital. Um, I was in so much pain. It's not, I can't even really describe to you the amount of pain I was going through. My husband had to do all the talking for me. They rolled me right into a room. They was trying to get me in. They got me in a bed. Um, I really didn't have any clothes on. I just had my pants on and a shirt, and I took all of the pants off, put the gown on. The nurse was trying to get the monitor on me to track my contractions and the baby, and the pain went away. I don't remember pushing. I don't remember baby anything. All I know is the pain went away. And she couldn't find the baby's heartbeat. And I think the baby's in the bed. And she pulled back the covers, and to her surprise, and my husband's surprise, there was baby inside the sack. And I will insert a picture so you can see what a baby looks like inside the sack. It is not ebony. We didn't have pictures. We didn't have photos. No time for any of that stuff. So within a 45-minute time frame, possibly less, because the hospital was 5 minutes away from my home. From the time frame it took me to leave the hospital, go home, because I wasn't dilating. I was like 1 or 2 centimeters, one maybe a force two, and they sent me home. I wasn't moving, wasn't dilating. They sent me home. From the time that I went home, took a quick bath, wasn't in the tub long, quick bath, took some Tylenol, got back in my car, drove back. I had delivered a baby without a doctor there. The nurse reaction to seeing the child in the bed was to run. She ran out of the room next door to get a midwife because apparently the doctors had gone home. So there was no doctor there. It was just a midwife. Um, she came in. She took the baby out the sack. Ebony was a little bit purple when she was born. She's a very small baby compared to my other babies. All my other babies are 8 pounds. Ebony was 5 pounds 14 ounces. Um, I remember looking at him while they was cleaning her up. I had no medication, obviously, no time for it, but this delivery also. Sorry about that. Another interruption. So, super fast labor delivery. Baby was delivered. I remember looking over at her. She was a little purplish, but she started, as soon as she started screaming and hollering and moving, she got pink. It was really a wonderful feeling. And then the worst experience of my life. It got worse. It got worse, worse, worse. My placenta fell apart. It didn't come out one whole piece. It came out and it was torn. So the midwife then told, she really was talking while she did things. So it wasn't like explaining and then doing. It was her hand went inside my body. She scraped my uterus with her hand and removed the placenta manually. And she didn't do it once. She had to keep going in and grabbing and grabbing. It was the worst experience of my life, the most pain. That was more painful. I can remember that pain more than I can remember the labor pains, the sciatica, all that. It just seemed like all of that was just a game compared to what she did. And I was told later that it was a good thing it was a midwife because otherwise they may have rushed me to the ER and gave me a hysterectomy. I don't know. Anyway, my recovery wasn't as bad as you would think. It wasn't. I didn't have any extreme bleeding. Um, I recovered from it just like every other delivery I've had. And Ebony was just this perfect little teeny baby, who unfortunately 6 weeks later ended up back in the hospital with RSV. She was born in December 30th. I'm sorry. December 30th is her birthday. I know her birthday. I don't know why I stumbled there. Um, yeah, she ended up back in the hospital 6 weeks later with RSV, and she stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. That is one of my fears with this baby because this baby is due January 18th. I'm afraid of, I know it seems weird. I told my family members that I really don't want the baby around a lot of people. Because to be honest, Ebony wasn't around a lot of people. The only people she was around was family members and my children. And I'm kind of like prepping the kids now. In the wintertime, you guys are not going to be able to spend a lot of time with the baby until the baby is bigger. Especially if the baby comes early. I do not want my baby coming early. I do not want a lot of people around the baby. I'm afraid of a repeat because that was the worst experience having my child in the hospital and her not being able to breathe and they giving her oxygen and and I'm helpless. I can't. It's nothing I can do but stand to the side because I have no idea what to do. Anyway, this is supposed to be a labor and delivery story, and the point of this story is that labor can be as slow as it want to be, or it can be super fast. And for me, I don't count the days that I were in pain before because I think that was just prep work. My body was getting ready for delivery. It really hit delivery when I started dilating. And once I started dilating, it was over, fairly quickly. So, I do have other labor delivery stories. I have one when I was induced, and that was 2 hours from induction to delivery. I got induced at 9 a.m. and had my son at 11 o'clock. Doctor was even surprised. He told me it was going to take a lot longer because I was being induced, but it didn't. Um, it was super fast. So I may do a story about him. I might do a story about my other son. But other than that, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.